Hi, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your November 15th, 2024 full moon, supermoon reading for you. Now, well, if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. And I thank you for supporting the channel in doing so. And if you're interested in a private reading, check out my website, Dane Hart Guided Messages. It's linked in the description box below. Now, before we dive into this reading, I want to thank you, each and every one of you, for your healing messages, your kind words, your support, your compassion, for everything, for being you. You are absolutely amazing and helped me through this healing time. So thank you so very much. I am in awe of the community that we've built here, and this is my happy place. And I'm so glad to be back here, channeling spirit, connecting with you through this happy place of mine. So this happy place of ours. So thank you so very much. Now, before we dive into the reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right, Sagittarius. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Oh, the Knight of Pentacles. That's fantastic. This full moon is in Taurus. Angels. The Chariot reversed. The Ace of Wands reversed. The Page of Wands reversed. The Hierophant. Three of Swords. Angels and spirit guides. Oh, the Sun. This is wonderful. The Four of Wands. The King of Pentacles. Reverse. The Knight of Cups, angels, and spirit guides, and the Emperor reverse. So let me make sure that you can see everything. Perfect. Okay. So what I love here is that we have the Hierophant, right? The Hierophant represents Taurus energy in the major arcana. And again, this supermoon is in Taurus. This is the last supermoon of 2024. And what we're going to be seeing here is that this really does move us forward in a very positive way. It's like slow and steady wins the race. And I know it's not the most like sexy, I just want to say sexy way of doing things, like slow and steady wins the race, but it is going to lead to such beautiful results that you're like, oh wow, this was well worth the time and the effort and the patience and all the words that people like to avoid, but it is going to really build something that is quite powerful for you. When you have the Four of Wands here, that is, moving forward in prosperity and success. It's new business opportunities. It can be, you have the Hierophant and you have the Four of Wands. There is commitment energy here. So it can be marriage. It's traditionally seen as marriage, but I also see it as commitment, like building a foundation of something that plays a pivotal role throughout your whole entire life. And that is extraordinary. So slowly and steadily moving forward, we have the Chariot reversed. So this is Cancer energy. Time frame is June 21st to July 22nd. Now, will you be having trouble with a Cancer time frame? Well, Cancer time frame, yes, but also with Cancer energy. But there also seems to be a lot of things that are happening to us or that have been happening to us that are out of our control. And part of this moon is like setting a foundation for the way that we can move forward in things that are in our control. And it's also relinquishing a lot of what we thought we needed to hold onto emotionally. So there is a liberation that's coming with this moon. Now we have the Ace of Wands and the Page of Wands, fire sign energy. We are fire signs. We're represented by the wands in the minor arcana. We have a gift coming our way. We're not quite taking it yet. Why? Because we need to be more in student mode. This is more like the little kid that you sit there and you're like, okay, now we're going to do XYZ. Like we're going to learn our letters. And they go, I already know. And you're like, no, you don't. You don't know your letters. You can't write them. And they go, no, but I do it my way. And it's like, okay, but you need to write them this way so that everybody else can understand too. And that's kind of the energy that's going on here. We can still have our creative flair. We can still have our own individuality, right? We can be like Da Vinci and write our in our journals, in our diaries, in our own secret language. But here, it's also learning how to bring forward our passion so that others can understand it, and also so that we can feel it connecting with the world, because that's very important for us emotionally, spiritually, as we move forward during this time. So just being aware of that, we feel a little disconnected from our inner child self. So just also, acknowledging that within us, that our inner child can want to have a bit of a temper tantrum, and letting it, like letting ourselves say, I don't feel happy. I could be, cold or hot or hungry. Like you check with a little baby to see, is everything right? Or you check even with a toddler, it's like, is everything right here? And then we need to move on. We're missing some key steps when checking in with ourselves. We're ignoring those because it's kind of like, well, you've been hungry, like, so you can't be hungry then. You already ate breakfast. It's like, yeah, but I want a snack, type of thing. Show yourself some kindness. Show yourself compassion. That's going to be really important for this moon. And that's really going to help you move forward in the foundation that you want. Because what we're going to see here, Sagittarius, is that the nurturing kind of nesting energy of Taurus is coming forward, and we need to respect that. So Taurus energy, we always hear how stubborn Taurians are, and they are, and they are. Believe me, I have a bunch of Taurians in my life, and my moon is in Taurus, and it does bring out a very stubborn nature, right? You can really dig your heels in, but sometimes that stubbornness translates into tenacity, right? So here, it's also nurturing. It's also building foundations of things. We like the slow and the steady, right? So when this Taurus energy comes in and this Taurus moon comes in with the Knight of Pentacles, it likes the slow and the steady energy. Now we're fire sign energy, right? And if we have this sense of like the faster, the better, but the raging fire, is that better than the fire in the hearth? Is it better than the fire that heats the water on the kettle, type of thing? And each have it their place. But here it's like, let us heat the water, let us move ourselves forward, because we can want to expand too much, and then it happens in true fire sign energy, it just winds up engulfing everything. So be very aware of that during this time, because we can't always help it, right? Our fire sign energy comes out and it's like, oh, well, a little is good, right? But a lot is better. It's kind of like with cooking. Oh, if a little bit of salt is good, if I put a lot of bit of salt, it's going to taste even better. And then it just becomes ineditable. I think I said that right. I don't think so. So here, there's going to be that kind of like pull and push that comes during this time. So just acknowledging that within your own inner sphere is going to be super, super important. If you have Taurus energy in your chart, that's going to come through very positively during that time. Feel very at home with this moon. If you have Cancer energy in your chart, in your life, you can find that you're a bit at odds with it. You can also find people who are Cancers during this time just to be really dramatic. If you listen to the Cancer reading that was done for this moon, you're going to see that it's a very dramatic time. So if you have that in your chart and you're wondering, why is everything so chaotic, so intense, check out that reading. It really does explain a lot. With the Three of Swords, we're dealing with a lot of heartbreak during this time, but we're also dealing with the acknowledgement of wounds that we didn't realize were there. Like we didn't realize it wounded us so deeply. And this is going to be a time where we're like, oh, I see it. Oh, I see it. I acknowledge it, and we let it go. Not let it go like, oh, it doesn't bother me anymore. You can still be dealing with it. But it's like, now I'm taking ownership of my life. I'm taking ownership of what I want. I'm taking ownership of what I need. I got this. And it leads us to the sun. It leads us to beauty. The sun is the happiest card in the whole entire tarot. So I'm so happy that it showed up here, because this is, the sun energy. The sun is in Scorpio. So if we're born on the cusp with Scorpio, that's going to be very good for us. But even if we don't have any Scorpio in our chart at all, there is this sense of blessing and prosperity and happiness and joy and bounty moving us forward so beautifully and so in alignment with ourselves. With the Four of Wands, this is building a sturdy foundation. This is moving things forward in a way that we can celebrate. This is also celebrating the win, celebrating the little things that bring us so much joy, so much beauty, so much happiness. It doesn't have to be big. It can be, sitting there and, if you see my fingers, I don't know, I did a good job at scrubbing, but I have marker stains on my hands. I was coloring with my nephew a Christmas stocking, and I forgot how much I love coloring. When I was little, my mom would say to us, "Oh, you can get something from the store." I would always get like a coloring book or a big coloring board thing, and I just loved it. It was just so much fun. Or a whole bunch of colored pencils because the markers bled through the pages. It was just so much fun. And here with the Four of Wands, that's what I'm being shown. It's like, go back to what brings you joy. Go back to what brings you happiness, even if it sounds silly. So embracing that is going to be super important. Now, with the day today, we have the spirit of the whole entire thing of this moon being very positive for us, but we can feel like there are day-to-day challenges that keep us from being prosperous, that keep us from saying, see, look at all the money I have, look at all the success I have, look at all the things I have, type of thing. And we can be very frustrated with that. So just the acknowledgement of, okay, I'm going through a frustrating time, but I know at the heart, at the matter, I am successful and prosperous and powerful, and I am embracing my success, my power, and my prosperity. But just know that there are going to be certain things that either they're too rigid in the rules, it's too, it's too overwhelming, it's too this, it's too that, and releasing that energy and saying, okay, you know what? I'm not going to do this. Like, I'm going to walk away from this, or I'm not going to be, moving forward in this way, or I'm going to be looking at this in a different way. That's going to be really important because this can be somebody else's rules being enforced on you that aren't working. So just an acknowledgement on that is going to be really, really, really important here. The Knight of Cups, you have movement energy here. You have very vibrant energy, youthful energy coming forward. So we're going to be endowed with that youthful vibrancy of like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. Make sure you don't burn the candle at both ends. Sleep is going to be a very important thing to take time for, take time to sleep, take time to rest, take time to heal. That is going to be very important with the Knight of Cups, moving towards what you want, moving towards what you love, listening to your heart, letting your heart connect with your world. As fire sign energy, we tend to be more gregarious. Like fire sign energy tends to be more like, I got this, the fire, it shines bright. But you can also be a highly sensitive person with fire sign energy, with passion and fire and drive. So people may not realize that with you. You know, my nephew is a highly sensitive person, but he's a fire sign. And you wouldn't realize that about him at all. He gets so prickly at times. But if you move forward like super, super calm and chill, it brings him down. And that we can do with ourselves as fire sign energy. We think, oh my gosh, our sparks, it flies. And it's like, oh, I'm going to feed this fire more and more and more. And it's like, no, no, no. If I do the opposite, if I embrace my calm, and sometimes you don't want to, right? And most of the times, like, I know I don't want to. I'm like, no, 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 I have to be fierce here right now. I have fire and air sign energy, and they feed off each other. And it's like, no, 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 just calm, breathe. And that's going to be us conquering our own inner tyrant. We have tyrant energy that's coming through with building and moving forward in prosperity and everything like that. So that can be overwhelming to us. But here, it's like we can conquer our own inner tyrant. And that's going to be so helpful and so beneficial. This is also negative sacred masculine energy. So this is like, juvenile masculine energy, or what people call, is it toxic masculinity? I don't like that phrase. I think it's juvenile. It's juvenile. It's immature. It's taking instead of giving energy. And that's giving love and support into the world. Doesn't mean that we always have to be sacrificing ourselves. So here with the Emperor reversed, it is healing from wounds that run deeper than we know or deeper than we realized. And as we heal from them, as we embrace our heart and our love and let our heart sing to us, we start to see that this energy here that wounded us, it is released. And it's like, oh, I didn't realize I was carrying you for so long. I don't need this anymore. Now, let's see. Of course, I just jumped right into the reading. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Angels and Spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading. So we have the bluebird reverse, and it says, you are being gifted with blessings and happiness of happiness and peace. And that's reverse. So we're not quite seeing that. We're seeing, all the things that we have to do, and the ways that we're falling behind, and the this and the that and the other thing, and. Take a nice deep breath in, and then breathe out with the a breath, and let yourself sit in your energy. Let yourself see yourself. That's going to be so important. That's also a great way to calm yourself down for sleep. Deep breath in through the nose, and then exhale. And it just releases you, like releases the stress. And that can be highly beneficial. But knowing that we are blessed for happiness and connecting with that happiness, it doesn't have to look like more and more and more. It can be simplifying things, calming things down, saying, okay, what is sacred to me? What is right for me? Where do I want to be for me? It moves us then to our energy to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. This is the Four of Wands reversed. And we have that blessing here with the Four of Wands in the upright. So when this is reversed, it's like be mindful of everybody who has to show their celebration of things. And it's not saying, oh, I want to share my good news with you. That's quite different. It's like, no, I want you to be jealous of me. It's kind of like social media. It's not kind of like, it is social media, where everybody sits there and says, oh, how fantastic I am, fantastic I am. And then you sit there and you realize, like, one day, all of a sudden you're watching something. I'll give this example because it blew my mind. Like, all the time I thought everybody just had super thick hair and super long nails. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. Now, I'm not into that stuff at all, but I do like watching, makeup videos every so often. And so I didn't know they were extensions. I didn't know they were fake nails. I was like, how can you get your nails so long and pointy and and then not break off? And then I realized, I was like, oh, there's so much of an illusion here. And it's pulling back the illusion. It's like, don't fall prey to the illusion. I know that sounds terribly naive to say I didn't realize that, but don't fall prey to the illusion. Pull it back and say, okay, what's important to me? What do I need to focus on? Where do I need to be for me? And it moves us then to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading, and show me clearly. This is life purpose. This is the soul star chakra. No, not the soul star chakra. This is the third chakra. And right now, we're going to be speaking our life purpose, right? Oh, I wish I could slow down. Oh, I just love it when I sit outside and have a cup of tea, type of thing. We're going to be speaking our life purpose with things that we are longing for, things that we love, things that bring us joy. But we're going to say it in such a kind of like throwaway manner. But think of it this way. Our words that we spell, right, out on a page that we spell into the world, it is a spell. It is a spell that we are casting. And so embrace casting the most beautiful spell, casting the most beautiful, loving wish upon yourself, and live it forward. It moves us then to our Luna message. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. We have beauty, we have powerful reverse, angels and spirit guides, and we have release. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Oh, that's so interesting. Angels and spirit guides. Okay, so what I find so interesting is that we've had the full moon come through reverse in both decks. It's the full moon here with power, and the full moon here, surrender with the divine. And so there's a real sense during this moon that we are trying to take power by taking the reins, but the reins seem to be out of our control. Like, a lot of things seem to be like, okay, hurry up and wait. You just have to wait. You have to wait type of deal. So our power is going to be in surrendering to the divine. That is not going to be our strong point, and that is going to be something that we need to just acknowledge during this time. It's like, oh, I'm going to have difficulty with this. This can be intense. I acknowledge that, but I'm living in surrender. It's not apathy, right? It's not just like I'm going to sit on the chair forever and ever. It is, I am listening to the guidance my intuition, the guidance of divinity that lives within me. Not that somebody else is saying, oh, I should think like this, or I should be like this, oh, it should be this, or it should be that, whether it's an orthodoxy of a religion or an unorthodoxy of religion, or a person or a media outlet or anything like that. It's like, no, what does my inner voice say to me? And as long as I come from a place of love, of kindness, of do no harm, of, compassion and care, I embrace that and I move that forward. And I move that forward in my life because that is the beauty. And we're releasing the need for power. And in our world, we really exemplify, or not exemplify, yeah, but like put up on a pedestal the people who hold the power and grab the power. This is my power. And yet, the ones that work copacetically with others, the ones that connect, we think, oh, that's not powerful. You don't have all the power yourself. So here, it is almost a rebellion, of sorts. And Sagittarius, we love a good rebellion, don't we? Communication is key. And that's reverse. We need to say what we want. Again, it's the spell that we are casting on our lives. I just love that imagery. It makes me so think of, wizards and magic. And I just love that. And unicorns and dragons. Oh, it's awesome. So here we have communication is key. That being reverse is we have ourselves scared to say what we really want, and then also scared to act upon it. Because what if others mock us? Or what if they don't understand? But if we're not in balance, if we're not in harmony, if we're not temperance with ourselves, and we're represented by the temperance card in the major arcana, then Sagittarius, all the greatness. We're ruled by Jupiter. I mean, Jupiter is the Roman word for Zeus, the name for Zeus. We're ruled by the greatest of the gods in the Roman pantheon. Heck, embrace it. It's time to let ourselves shine. It enhances greatness. Jupiter, wherever it is, astrologically speaking, it enhances greatness. And it can enhance the greatness of suffering and anger. It can enhance the greatness of joy and beauty. So just knowing that, and knowing that that's part of your personality, your inquisitiveness, but also you amplify. You amplify and go deeper. You amplify and go deeper. That's who you are. This here with the full moon in Scorpio, which is in the upright position, and I love that for you. It says it is time to release negativity, and it is. It's like, I'm done with this, and I'm letting it go. I'm done with this, and I'm letting it go. And we have to let it go. It's like, okay. And you're going to see that during this full moon and leading up to the full moon and a bit after the full moon, okay, you can actually see this energy. It'll taper, but leading to the new moon coming in, where it's like, oh, you didn't realize that's what was ticking me off. Oh, I didn't realize that was the baggage I held from when I was, 5 years old, 8 years old, from the experience I went through. Like, you can hate to get up in the morning. I hated to get up in the morning. And then I realized, oh, I hated school as a child. It was not fun for me at all. And so getting up in the morning wasn't fun for me. And realizing that, it took me the longest time. And now it's like, well, you don't get to rule me anymore. And just little things that you think like, oh, what nonsense, what silliness. It's not. The body keeps score. The mind, the soul remembers, the mind remembers. And we might not be interpreting what our body is telling us correctly. And then it's time to take action is reversed. And I pause because it's like, it's not time to charge forward, but it's time to take action inwardly. And we're scared. And so just acknowledging our fire and our passion and our fierceness, and that, yeah, we can be scared. And it's okay. We don't have to take action for anybody else, but taking action for ourselves is going to be so important. And it's going to be so beneficial. It moves us to our subconscious spirit message. And this is the Kingfisher. And this is reversed. It says, prosperity is flowing. Have faith that you will receive it in the perfect form. And we question, we doubt. And that's just human. That's just human nature. Will I receive it in the perfect form? Will it not work out? Will everything fall apart? Will I be able to be what I want to be? Is this a gift or is this not? And we can look at a lot of ourselves, especially if we don't fit in perfectly with the gregarious, kind of like in your face type of person that people promote, or even like the shy person, but in this overachieving, like successful, but also hitting all the boxes of what everybody says is right to do way. We can really doubt our own worth and our own self. So just be mindful about that. See yourself and look at yourself and look at your gifts and say, I acknowledge them. I'm connecting with them. I am gifted. I am powerful. I am blessed. and believe that like in the very ounce of our being. Okay, I'm getting off my soapbox, but seriously, I want you just to like soak it up because it's so beautiful for you. Okay, it moves us to energy to be mindful of. We can overwork ourselves during this time. Oh, so much. Just be aware of this. Our inner child is talking to us. This is the heart chakra, embracing our inner child, embracing, the way spirit is talking to us. That's going to be just so beautiful. Our subconscious, oh, the Two of Cups reverse. There's something that we need to heal from. Our subconscious tarot message. And this is like, it's not time. There is something that we're going to be healing from. We're going to see it during this full moon. And then we are going to start healing from it. But right now, not the time. We can actually meet somebody during, like, around this moon that is really great for us, or a situation can arise where it's like, oh, wow, that's going to be great for me down the line. We don't know. We don't say to ourselves, oh, that's going to be great for me down the line. It's like, okay, I see that, or I can't handle that right now, or, oh, that's annoying. And then we'll come back to it later on and it'll be like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. And it just opens something. It can be romantic. I know people always think romantic, right? With the Two of Cups, right? When we always think falling in love with something, we always think falling in love with someone, but it can be falling in love with ourselves, healing past traumas that really held us back. It is opening up our hearts, opening up our souls, and it's like, oh, this is me. And that's super cool. It brings us to our subconscious Luna message, which is purity, which, it can sound a little weird to say purity coming forward, but I love the snow here, right? Because this makes me think of after a big snowstorm. And if you live in a place with snowstorms, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, after a snowstorm, the world becomes so quiet. And if you go outside and like the snow is still, drifting down or blowing off of the trees a little bit, the world becomes quiet. And then the birds start to sing. And everything starts to echo off the snow. So the bird's song echoes off the snow. And there's a crispness and a cleanness to the air. And the sun shines off the snow and it sparkles. And everything is just like new. It's like putting new sheets on your bed type of thing. It's like, oh, it's new and it's clean and it's wonderful. It's the purity of like the intention of it all, the beauty of it all. And then yeah, that snow gets all muddied with life, and that's what our life does, right? And then it goes back into the earth. And then it becomes rain and it gets put up into the clouds, right? It becomes water, it becomes put up in the clouds and evaporates, and then it snows down again or rains down again. Snow is very much like you come out after a really big rainstorm, and that same freshness, except there's a crispness and a coldness to snow that rain doesn't have to have. And then we have a new romantic cycle begins, and that's reversed. Coming into balance with ourselves is going to be really important, and it brings us falling in love with our lives. A new romantic cycle will come in. This is the new moon in Libra and Sagittarius. So Libra and us are the justice cards, right? Libra is quite frankly justice, right? And Sagittarius were temperance, and that's truth. So here, we need things to be balanced. Something is out of balance. For that new cycle of love and beauty, romance, like not, it can be falling in love with somebody, but it doesn't have to be. I don't want you to limit yourself and say, oh, it has to be just like this. And Dayton said, oh, I'm going to fall in love and miss like falling in love with, adopting a puppy or a kitten or a bird, or, falling in love with a place, or falling in love with an item on the menu when you're like, oh my gosh, this is so delicious, and you fall in love and you let that experience wash over you. Falling in love with a story, a book, a piece of art, it doesn't have to be so confined. So let the love come in, let it shine. Okay. All right. Oh, Sagittarius, I'm so happy to be back. And I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving healing messages, loving healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. And please note that this meditation and healing will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Sagittarius. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. Love you all. God bless. Bye.